like something akin to that. And if we really want to go like dating myself a lot back for this, fucking original Ragnarok Online.
Fuck you, dude.
God,
That is
this.
PTC inducing.
Oh God, like I. Let's go another recording session. Yeah, it's just gonna be us two here because unfortunately no one else that I wanted to wants to talk about MMOs.
I think you said it's more experience. Not many people still stick to the genre.
It's like not many people stick to it, nor do people really care about it as much anymore, or at least not to the sense that I'm getting at this topic here, right?
Times changed. Everyone's on a little FPS drop now. It's not
It's either
MMOs.
it's like FPS or friend swap stuff too, which there's nothing wrong with friend swaps in general too. It, like you said, media's just changed. Everyone is looking for different things now. No one is realistically looking at MMO games. However, when I say that, things tend to change a lot of times too, especially like big MMO title drops like MM Desert. However, I'm hesitant about Crimson Desert just because how Black Desert Online kind of shaped up to be, but
They also pivoted to single player.
oh, they did? Oh shit.
Yeah, that's I had a friend. Both of us were gonna play, and they showed the trailer already, and then they were. I forgot how long ago they pivoted, but it's a full. It's they're going for Dragon's Dogma style from what it looks like.
Oh, I mean, honestly, impressed that they make that pivot, but I guess it's for the best. I
I
don't
think
know.
it is for the best. I mean, you've been in production for God knows
Well,
how long,
true,
and
and
to
yeah,
something be called a predecessor for Black Desert is,
yeah, that is true, right? Because that was like my only knowledge of Crimson Desert Online was because of Black Desert Online. But I know that game itself is like, yeah, not that. It wasn't bad from what I can tell too, but it also wasn't like something that made people want to play it either.
BDO has its audience. I've done BDO. It's not for me. I mean, the gameplay loop in that game is primarily hit soft cap,
Hmm.
farm farm your mobs. Somebody poofs to your location, tries to PvP you for your spot. You win. You keep your spot. You lose. You dip your spot, or you get ambushed. Pretty
Oh,
much.
I see, I see. So it's like there's not really anything else to it then. Like I'll say, for example, for others coming into, I did do a MMO talk for a lot of the previous one too, and I had a different set of people talk about this. Unfortunately, I just want to keep this pretty short, anyways, too, because some of the most
You're
recent drama that came out. But yeah, I mean, fuck, World of Warcraft is still something that people still play actively.
It's
God.
nostalgia bait at this point, I feel like. Also, I had to talk about this, but at what point does classic stop being classic and just switch over to retail?
Right. I mean, I feel like that was always the goal too, right? Like for the most part, for anybody else that gets intimidated by retail, there's classic is kind of just there to get people like familiar with the IP, and eventually they kind of drip feed content back to you. Even though I I I don't understand it too much, but I've heard it's like uber successful when it comes to that too. But then again, like I said, it's mostly out of nostalgia, and you're not necessarily getting new players. You just got the old players that left their game, and you just got them back now that it's like a fresh new format. And next thing you know, it's like, ah, shit, now that we're getting the stuff from later content back into here. Oh boy.
I mean, to be honest, if I could try, I would try classic, but
Mm,
I I I I, I just kind of get turned off by the add-ons. I know they've simplified the add-ons and add-ons are just there to help you,
mhm.
but I just see maybe you've probably seen some like clips from streamers where it's like 10
Yeah.
billion add-ons going on, your fucking
Oh my
screen
god.
flashing, and then a little narrator's going like dodge, dodge, dodge in
God.
10 seconds.
God.
Bread.
And then I still see them get hit by that shit. I'm like, I am 100% in believing to any real MMO players, they're just fucking brain dead half the time.
No, no, no. I think it's just DPS brain. I think
God.
that's primarily it.
Like
Using it for the parse.
it's like sure, but it's like you have all this shit too, and you're still awful. What is going on with that too? Because at least here's the thing about it. Because I know FF14 has like a strict policy when it comes to add-ons. No.
Yeah, yeah. They did have a strict any editing. I believe some of the world first clears, they had to zoom out They had a zoom out
Mhm.
add-on, and people actually got disqualified for that
Right.
for the race.
Because it was like you're effectively trying to play the game differently than what the developers had intended you to play it as. Now, that could be something for the developers. Maybe they could address that too, try to make it a lot more readable for the players to try to look into that. But otherwise, too, it's at least sort of commendable of FF14 to try to like balance the game properly instead of like trying to going in on this. I mean, this is just probably from my take about it too. Like, I personally don't like add-ons to like MMO games too. I could see how useful they are for a lot of people. Like for example, whenever actually good side tangent, would you consider Monster Hunter Worlds an MMO title?
Yeah, I'd consider it an MMO. It's
Okay.
for me, I'd consider it like a little party hunting game, but
Mm,
that's pretty much it. I mean,
mhm.
there's gear progression. You play with other players. It's somewhat
Right.
of an open world, and
Right.
you're just not locked into certain roles. You know, everybody does damage kind of deal.
Gotcha. So it's like I see like in one of my friends that play it too, they have like a health bar for a boss too, which kind of defeats the purpose of the game itself. But I can see it being useful, right? I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
see
yeah.
it.
Like a little. I've seen first time I saw it, and I don't think it's bannable. I just think it's used at your own discretion kind of thing. But there's a
Yeah.
DPS meter for it as well.
Oh my god. I, 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 if the game wasn't intentionally meant to have a health bar, don't like force your game to have a health bar from like the player side. It just feels like bad design, and, or it's not bad design. You're just kind of engaging the game at bad faith in the first place, doing it that way. At least that's my opinion. I can understand too if, like, for example, like you don't have the correct attention span to like engage with certain contents too. I get it, but I don't
There was
know.
there was a talk on this, or there was a video that I watched actually where they were saying like, has Monster Hunter gotten way easier?
Mm,
Question mark. And then you can really see maybe it's just how the games age and how games cater to more and more people now. But
mhm.
um, I remember playing Generation was it Generations or uh
Uh,
Freedom Unite 2 on the PSP, and
okay, yeah, yeah.
fuck that game.
Oh my
Fuck
god.
that game. Like you're given a 20 no, you're given a 45-minute hunt. You're using that 45-minute hunt because it was
Mhm.
just that AIDS. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's one of the few things looking more and more about this too. It's like I start to see the reason why a lot of people feel like is MMO as a genre dying, and it's like I could kind of see it, but it's also like there's still going to be like that group of people that's yearning for the next MMO title, right?
I don't I don't think it's dying. I think people are just it's either it could go you could skew it two ways. It could be the company, right?
Mhm.
Because I feel like there's no perfect MMO, right?
Right.
Ashes tried to be.
Oh god, we'll talk about that in
Um
a moment.
or yeah. Or I think the better question is, are you just expecting too much, right? What are you
that
expecting from an MMO?
Right, that's what I'm like thinking about it too. It's like, do like what do I really picture what an MMO is? And unfortunately enough too, it's like something that's more akin to like World of Warcraft. In this sense that I want like the World of Warcraft like early social aspect that the game had,
Yeah.
like something akin to that. And if we really want to go like dating myself a lot back for this too, fucking original Ragnarok
Fuck you, dude.
Online. God,
That is
this
PTC inducing.
oh god. Like I anybody that is unfortunate enough to watch this video and I mentioned that fucking shit too, be glad that we're also getting a Ragnarok Online to reboot. I've seen
It's
it so far
3.
too. Yeah, Ragnarok Online 3. I am very skeptical on that too. I have MMOs on like a high
You should
expectations.
be. You
Yeah.
should be skeptical because it's being released on both PC and
Oh,
mobile.
oh god, yeah, it's on a mobile device too. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's also backlash that it's only releasing in Japan right now, and you know
Mhm.
Japan's track record with MMOs.
Right. But let's just benefit of the doubt too. I do hope it does go well too, but like in most cases too, with like other MMOs, I kind of expect. I kind of want to like see the social aspect of it that you would get from like those older title games before like you had like people that are just trying to like fucking gold farm or try solo farming all the content. I like the actual social aspect. That's why Monster Hunter for me was like sort of like my proxy MMO thing too, because you're effectively forced to like play in a party, and in much better cases, it's better to play with like a bunch of friends too. Therefore, you kind of made your own small guild unofficially,
Yeah,
right?
that I agree. That's for me. Um, uh, that's the best aspect for MMOs for me. Is just playing with the people.
Yeah,
Like you've seen my how do I say this? My phases, right?
yeah.
Um, RO I played with my guild. I still talk to some of the people right now. I'm actually playing Lost Ark with Diggs.
Oh man.
Honestly, I would probably not be playing Lost Ark if Diggs was not playing anymore.
Uh,
And the guild that I play with, what was it? My little Final Fantasy stint, dude. I went hard on Final Fantasy,
uh,
and it my experience there just made it easier because I played with Aura, and
mm,
both me and her, it just made it way easier queuing for dungeons, doing content because we were a tank healer combo,
right.
so
And
that just made it better.
yeah, and it's like I do think too, like the gameplay aspect does play a part of like why I like certain games. There was actually one game that I was actually really hyped about too, and you might call me pathetic about me being hyped about this one, and it was fucking Wild Star.
Like 2013 WildStar with the
Uh,
jetpacks.
Kinda, yeah. It was like I like the idea that they were going for with that one, right? Where it was like some like one half of it is like exploration, while the other half is like combat PvP or the other guild wars, and the other half it's like you get to like plot your own base and you have like your own housing and whatnot too, and chart. It was like a lot of cool things that like on paper this sounds really cool for people that want to invest in an MMO very early on, right? But
Yeah,
it
if I remember correctly, the only reason I didn't wait, I did hear about WildStar because um, I was heavily watching Soda Poppin' at the time,
oh man,
and
God.
and I think it got their release date. What's the word I'm looking for? It got overshadowed by all the other games that came out. Because if I'm thinking 2013, 2014, that's when 14 re-released. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you got World of Warcrafts.
The
I just looked
expansion.
over here what release. Yeah, Warlords of Draenor came out.
Oh,
Oblivion came out.
oh,
Terra. Holy shit, Terra was
oh,
in it for me.
oh my God, Terra Online. Holy fuck.
It's
Yeah,
just you as much as people want to reboot the game or make like classic servers, I don't think you're ever gonna get the same experience from when you first played it in like the early 2010s, early or late 2000s kind of deal.
right. And that's just something that like I think about too. That like I wonder if the case then being is the fact that does American like in this case do our Western like player base do we have like specific image of what we were looking for in MMOs? Because I do see like other MMO titles that look really big and they're being successful over there. But then in this case, I was actually hyped with Lost Ark. But when I played it too, I started to realize I see that this was not meant for me in a lot of ways too. When I started getting to the end game content, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
There's a lot of good and bad. Lost Ark is a great example
Mhm.
because you know how when Lost Ark was pretty much hyped to be the MMO killer for everything, right?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tell you, hindsight, if you've played old MMOs, Lost Ark is not bad.
right.
Progression, yes. Now I wish I was banned, honestly, so I can quit the game. Um, but there's no ARP. There's no other MMO that I can think of in most recent time that does a top-down camera style like Lost Ark, where it feels like originally it felt like you were playing Diablo or something, right?
Right.
Um, gear progression could be better, but also it's better than other games, right? You don't lose gear, you don't break gear.
Mhm.
It's just a standard progression. And
Right.
one thing that I tell people is at least you're gonna hit pity sometime, right? You're gonna pity your piece and pity your honing. It's gonna
Yeah.
feel bad, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think
And
I think the issue here is the expectation of Western players is different from because this is a Korean game, right?
yeah.
um how we view games, and I'm saying we when I meant me because I
Mhm.
played majority of my early MMO years back in Asia.
Mhm.
I Your expectation or your like what you want out of the game is different from what Western players think. For me, as much as I hate to say it, it's an investment, but it's not an investment where I want to sell it later. Could be for other people, but for
Yeah.
me, it's more of an investment of my time, right? Because you're spending money, you're putting in the hours. Like for God's sakes, dude, I caught up in hours in 1 year of Lost Ark to 6 years of Final
Oh my.
Fantasy.
Oh my god.
That's disgusting.
God.
But I also really hyped up for Lost Ark, right? I fully switched over. I've
Mm,
done every raid, cleared week one, um, pretty up there. Uh, I mean, that's it.
right.
I will say though, I feel like if you're gonna jump into Western MMOs, and I don't know if this is a topic later, but
Mm.
I would say one Western game you could probably say like, oh, how about Oblivion? Or sorry, how about ESO or how about WoW?
Or
When
Guild
I think
Wars.
or Guild Wars. Guild Wars 2, I played a little bit, really good. But you know
Mm.
what game really got me as that was like, damn, this is a good Western MMO is the fucking Division.
Oh my.
Nothing
I have
up
mixed feelings about that, but yeah, you go first. You go first.
up until the point you hit endgame and early endgame, peak gameplay. Very,
Right.
very good gameplay. This is the open world PvP in the Dark Zone with open mics, and you're rolling as a squad of 6 and just steamrolling all the
Mm.
solo players is just hilarious. All the
Right. Right.
slurs getting thrown around, you getting
God.
called a certain word. It's just fun. It's just and everybody laughs at the end because it's just a
Yeah.
funny game. Now,
Yeah.
funny Ubisoft and funny all those like big American companies, there's no real end support. I mean, yeah, Division 2 is pretty much going to be hitting 10 years now soon.
Mm.
And hopefully, I think D3 just got announced for production.
Oh
Heartland was a
shit.
shit show and got canceled. So
Yeah.
there is a fan base. I just think that if they ever need to do support or focus on something, I think it's like post game support for it.
Right. Yeah. I'll say my piece about it too, and I probably mentioned it a lot of times too. I felt like I was fucking copped out when I saw the Division 2. I thought it was like a much more like co-op story-driven game, like similar to the Ghost Recon style stuff too. But it
I don't,
didn't.
yeah.
I think if anything, they probably acknowledged it that the marketing material they probably fucked up in the fact to portraying what kind of game this was supposed to be.
Yeah, I agree. I initially when I bought the game as well, I really thought that it was going to be a Ghost Recon game when it's not. And then you're there, shooting a guy for 5 minutes as a him POVing as a fucking bullet sponge.
Yeah.
Um it's good. Once you set your expectations and once you understand that it is a full-fledged MMO and not just some like open world sim like Wildlands or Breakpoint,
Hmm.
I think you can 100% enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, I can understand that too. Maybe if like I'll probably see the next gameplay of like if the Division 3 does come out to XE. Let's see if Ubisoft doesn't collapse in on itself before then.
Not the first time they would cancel it, honestly.
Yeah, not the first time. That's why whenever it does happen. The other things that we could probably talk about is oh my god, another fucking MMO that people kind of got rug pulled by Ashes of Creation. I holy shit.
That was
I feel
I don't
bad.
know.
I feel bad for a lot of people too, because in this case, for you specifically, that I know that you were technically like an early buyer for this game too, right?
I bought it. I was skeptical. I ended up buying it in December of last
Mhm.
year, just because
Right.
I had some time. Um, I played with one other guy, and it hit the itch. Honestly, it hit the itch of really, really you can't pull more than one mob kind of game, and if
Uh-huh.
you do, you need to coordinate with a bunch of people, or else your tank dies.
Right.
It was fun. It was really, I would say, there's no late game, there's no end game. Leveling to 20 was like the main goal for everybody because it was still in quote unquote active development, right? And
Yeah.
early access.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't talk. Actually, I can't really dive too much into like the current legal lawsuit that's currently going around too, as they're currently still like alleged. But based on like my own opinion of like how things were going to, there was definitely some very funny business happening with the owner or the original owner for the developing studio. Such as the fact that I know for certain too, he definitely did violate a lot of labor laws to try to push the game into some form of playability.
Yeah.
There's that.
I honestly, I kind of just shut myself away from it. I just got my refund.
Yeah.
I think I think it was at a point where Steam was acknowledging like, oh shit, what's actually happening here, and gave an
Yeah.
explanation. They just gave it back, no issues. I know people who bought it off um, Kickstarter are having issues because they're having to go back with their actual bank and
Oh.
say, hey, this purchase from 4 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to get back.
Yeah, and even then too, there's not even a guarantee either too, because I feel like the only way that's gonna happen too is they'll have to wait and see about the resulting like lawsuits that are currently going around too, because otherwise, yeah, there is a lot of things happening for that one too, for both in this case the investors into the studio making this game, the employees doing this, and now in this case other third parties that were platforming this game need to figure out how okay, we need to get your money back somehow because this is almost like I would say in terms of like how badly this development studio like just shit itself here too. It was I feel like it's worse than the fucking game the day before in a lot of ways.
I I don't think so. I think the day before was way worse because I think that was a day one rug pull. At
Oh
least
god.
these guys try to play it for the long haul for a little bit.
But I'm just saying about it too. Which one is technically worse? That one or like you're just being like led on, right?
True. Yeah, I mean, you were led on. People tried to, there are people who tried to believe that Ashes was actually a real game. I was still skeptical, but like I said, I had the time. I might as well may have tried it for the most part, right?
Right.
But day before actually looked bad from the get-go. Besides their initial gameplay trailer,
Mm.
it I don't think I even say I even saw gameplay for that. I think I saw some gameplay and then it was just like a bunch of Unity assets. That was pretty much it.
No, if anything, day before was a Unreal Engine title, so the game was even more of unoptimized mess. Like me and
Hmm.
Victor did like a full on like breakdown of all the gameplay footages that we've seen so far. We saw some of like the things that they cut short into, and it was just man, they really just did an asset flip. There was no way about it too. Like we could only claim at the time that allegedly that they asset flip until more and more evidence were rolling out too that like oh yeah no they were like on like a spree of buying shit from like the Unreal Engine marketplace where all assets are like Jesus.
Yeah. I I can't. I some part of me wishes that it really came to something, but I think people were saying like it's still such early development. People try to show the map and everything,
Hmm.
and it looked good, but at the back of my mind, it was always like, damn, this is not it. I don't like this is not the game for like another 6 years or something.
Right.
Cough right, MMO. Project Project X.
Oh god. Oh.
Actually, no, was
Uh,
the pro was the MMO called Project X or was that
for
2XKO?
that was a Riot game, right? Riot
Yeah,
Games project. No, if anything, Project X, they didn't say that it was canceled either. They were just going back in this case, like putting all of like the developing assets or developing stories or news about the game just
yeah.
in the shroud right now because from what the last time we were mentioned that we knew about it too, that they were just gonna like not say anything publicly for the time being as they
Yeah,
wanted
like
to
2 years
rework
ago,
something.
they just
Yeah,
went radio silent.
yeah. Which it definitely would stress a lot of people too, but we'll see what happens anyways too because XD right has a very funny way of like trying to release titles, but then they end up like trying to cancel it. But then on release, in this case, I'm looking at Hightail. That game itself was supposedly supposed to be shelved, but then the original creators or developers bought it back from Riot and then released it as like here's just like a open beta for you guys if you guys want to support it, and it just broke record sales. It's like what the fuck. So
I
it's
mean,
like
you also don't want to lead people for too long, right?
yeah, because like the game Hytale was supposed to come out to, and that itself is, I would say, is technically an MMO to a lesser extent. Like, yes, you can play a single player too, but there is definitely like a way to make it like an MMO style game. That was what Hytale or Hypixel was kind of like leaning. It was just the fact that they effectively made a Minecraft clone that focused a lot on the cooler stuff about what they liked, which was combat, and that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine, right?
Yeah, I saw a few friends play Hytale. I survival games that are like what's the genre called?
Like I think it's just
Um,
survival like
yeah,
is what I
survival like. So things like Valheim, all those kinds of stuff with crafting, not really my cup of tea, but I understand. Like I saw gameplay for Hytale. That was fun.
yeah.
I didn't personally play it, but I watched friends play. And
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah, and I think like what you mentioned too earlier about like Westerners have like a different idea of what I want to throw in like a funny way of looking at it. No Man's Sky is unintentionally right now a really good MMO.
that game went a long way.
Yeah, it went a long way too, and it's currently still getting support. We just got another fucking update, free update, or that would be classified as a World of Warcraft expansion to this game.
Actually, I think the last update that I saw was when they added the funny gun. I saw someone recreate a Gundam in fucking No
Oh yeah,
Man's
oh yeah,
Sky.
no, that update was still recent too. That was like the frigates update. That was like one of the ways how you can start modifying, doing stuff with it. Although I think that one was by mods, from what I can
Okay.
remember. But regardless, that didn't matter in this case. With No Man's Sky here, there's just so many things that you can do in this game too that it just unironically becomes like a feature-loaded MMO. But mind you, this was like it took time for them to get this far too, and they had like an amazing comeback story. Holy fucking shit!
I mean, from the most hated, right?
Yeah, they were in this case the most hated when it was like it was like in a way in a
2017. Yeah.
yeah, it was like in the genre too that like they wanted like a space style MMO game similar to like Eve Online, and I've mentioned it before too. If anybody here plays Eve Online, you're not having fun at the game. You're just effectively working a secondary job looking at spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Like I get it too that there's some MMOs that we currently play too that you could technically play the game as if it's a spreadsheet, but even then, no. This one is just objectively like horrendous to look through, at least in my opinion too. Because I like to be able to like pilot ships and whatnot too. I understand the appeal of like setting up your own like conglomerate trade company within like a space MMO where the idea of space traveling and trade and whatnot too would be great. Which I was like, I wish we kind of had that kind of style mentality if we did it for like certain like fantasy MMOs, such as when not only can you do guilds, you can also like control some parts of the economy as well. I don't know to what extent.
Sounds like ashes.
Yeah, the
Tax the
ashes.
people.
Yeah, that would have been the case, right? Oh man.
Yeah, it's just crazy one guild can own a town, and if you want to save on taxes, you totally skip that town kind of deal.
Yeah.
But do you run the risk of getting ganked, your caravan ganked? You
Yeah.
run the risk of losing your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, those are things too that like that'd be really fun to do. And it's just like, yeah, your guild just ends up becoming like a city management where then you can like commission other guild members to like deal with like other issues, right? But
Yeah.
at that point too, it's like that's when you know too, like when I think about like that kind of feature, dude, that's a massive undertaking. Like, how do you balance that? But at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
your
like you
second
should.
job.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
second job.
yeah. Oh God, it's
I think the thing as well is people want um I think the running meme for an MMO right now is um it respects my time. I was like, well,
uh,
you wanted
that's
the immersion.
right. Like that's realistically all I think I really care about. It's not like whether or not it respects my time. Do I like the game enough that I want to stay in it? A lot of times too, like I strangely find out too that like I'm not like as into it as I hope to be. Like for example too, I like No Man's Sky too. I still play it every now and that's still another
But you're not
deal.
invested.
Yeah, I'm not invested into it like normal. But let's say, for example, like with Lost Ark, I would be invested into it too, just because I thought the story that the game was telling it was actually kind of compelling enough. And hell, it's an ARPG background, or I have an ARPG loving like and other unfortunate things like Ragnarok Online. Anyways,
Jesus Christ, yeah. The old pixel games really hit a
yeah.
niche now.
Yeah. And so the funny enough too, how I will consider maybe this is a hot take here for this one too. Would you consider Helldivers 2 a MMO?
Yeah, I consider it an MMO.
Even
It's
though
not
like
streamlined. It's not streamlined progression. I mean, there kind of is some streamlined progression in the form of the battle pass, right? That's how you get the gear. You
yeah.
you collect you collect the samples, you upgrade mats, you get gear. Um,
Mhm.
I think it falls in the same realm as Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah,
where it's procedurally generated zones that you play with, and MMOs do that as well, like closers or DFO,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
like Monster Hunter as well.
But
I would
it's
I would consider it. I
yeah,
would consider it an MMO.
yeah, because like that would be the only other game where I'm like technically speaking to like this is the only game I immerse myself in. Not only for like the fact that like it's actually just straight up a fun game. I just kind of like in this case the whole narrative and like how I can easily immerse myself into this game.
Not sorry, gonna go derail here for a quick second.
Yeah.
I it's just so infuriating how Helldivers is such a good game, but the developers just try and find a way to like shit the
Oh,
bed every update. But the thing is, the players love the game too much to overlook it, and I think
I
that's
right now there has been pushbacks, at least based on like the stuff that I'm keeping up to date with the Helldivers 2. A lot of it is straight up like one of like the last major orders, which for people's context that haven't played this game, where have you been? Get the fuck on.
I
Yeah,
just remember OG Space Vietnam. That was like
yeah, yeah.
the best.
Like it pretty much like when we were supposed to be invading cyberstan because that was like a major order which is like a server wide like mission that we all as a collective community had to accomplish. It was just like a bunch of like not only did they I feel like they mess up on a couple of factors here too. When I was playing in this case not like the most difficult missions or like the difficulty mission slider here. I was going on like level 6, which is extreme. Even that, like usually, like I would die like a couple of times too, but I would be able to clear the mission. This one would made it almost feel like it was impossible to clear missions too, because as I was playing it too, I think they overtuned a lot of the like respawn rates, the concentration of mobs, and like the frequency of it just kind of just hits you from all over the place. And then it's like a slap in the face too. Whenever it's just like don't, if you can't handle it, don't play on like super hell diver mode and just play on a weaker difficulty. I tried playing on the weaker difficulty and I still got my ass blasted to me. Like, what is this shit?
I think
And
it's just knowing, and then you see the
yeah,
guy who gets recommended on YouTube that just solos
yeah,
Extreme 10. I was like,
yeah,
well, I guess there's that.
yeah. And even then too, I myself like am part of the community too. That like you don't follow those types of people because those types of people they play the game differently than you will. You don't have that type of skill to be able to pull this off too. And just to say like you're different, it's
Yeah,
fine,
that's
right?
those guys are like the top 1% of
Yeah,
whoever plays your game.
yeah. And Helldivers too, it's supposed to be kind of mostly approachable too. It's not like I say it's an MMO, but I also don't think it should be designed like an MMO either. I think that's the weird, ironic part about like these types of games that I like to with Helldivers 2 and even Monster Hunter. They are not purposely designed to be. They just have features that mirror MMOs.
I agree. Uh, it I don't know what the word is, but I understand what you're talking about. Where it's not supposed to be an MMO, it plays like an MMO because of
Mhm.
the by the backbone of what the game is, progression wise, and all this stuff. It is, but you could say the same thing about like Call of Duty, right?
Right.
Not really an MMO. You have a gun, you level up the gun. Um, you level up, you gain more equipment. Is that MMO style? Yeah, but that's just playing the game.
Yeah.
That's how they keep you. That's how they keep you in the game.
Yeah. And it's like that's just a normal thing too. It's like it then I begin to even question too of like what does it really mean for us to look at it as like really paying on the core concept and question of to us what do we want to see in those, and realistically it is that social aspect. If you don't have that social aspect of the game kind of just kind of falls apart too. And even like trying to develop like a World of Warcraft killer too, I don't want to say it's an impossibility, but I think we're also kind of fighting in the wrong direction, and that makes sense. However, I say that too. And then there's a game called Where Winds Meet that kind of blew everyone's out the water too. So there's that, I guess.
Can I say I was actually I don't play Where Winds Meet,
Hmm.
but I really thought it was gonna be another slop game, honestly. But with how the developers are actually treating it and combat and everything, it actually looks good. It actually makes me feel like, damn, I missed out on not playing this day one.
Yeah. I,
Because I heard there's GVG events, there's actual
mm,
like community dungeons you can run.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a full-fledged MMO. I just thought
Yeah,
it was just gonna be another Genshin Stop clone. That's all I really thought about.
yeah.
Which I'm
But
wrong.
yeah, in this case, we're glad to be wrong in this regard either too, because I also thought too that like depending on this too, it will kind of be like very lackluster too. But when I did research on for where winds meet in the background too, the Chinese MMO space is actually like a very big community too. Like it's straight up like really big. There's been like other Chinese MMO that have existed beforehand too, and I've seen some of the crazier videos. So realistically, where winds meet is just mostly for us as Westerners, a tip of the iceberg of what they've been playing as MMOs too. And this is sort of like, yeah, we like this game and from that side too, and we like to see more of it. And there's even stuff too that like I think this is like a very good game where it's going to be a litmus test of how MMOs will be designed later, how it might be worked on too, such as the fact that every NPCs that you interact with, they don't have like a set dialogue. You can actually full on have chat GPT style dialogues with them.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. And also the visuals for this game too. I am a sucker when it comes to like wushu style or wuxia style combat.
Uh,
Like there was another MMO before this too, if I remember. Yeah, Blade and Soul was another one.
shit, shit the bed. But yeah, I
Yeah,
played Blade and Soul too.
yeah.
Cause I think I went to Terra, then went into BNS. I didn't stick too long, just because I moved over to Final Fantasy instead, and can't juggle more than 2 games, right? Smiley face.
Smiley face.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I like I said, I probably do need to pick up where wind speed at some point too. I just gotta find the time for it, man. It's like the nature of all MMOs. I gotta like find the time to. Man.
Yeah, that really
But
is it.
at least the best thing about it too is like it's an MMO game where I feel more comfortable playing on a controller than I am on a keyboard. As I get older, I feel much better too. That I feel like that might be a trend that we might be seeing too. Future MMOs could be designed in the fact that they could be played on a controller. Maybe. I'm just mostly speculating. This can be considered a hot take too, but
Um,
realistically,
there's yeah, I don't think there. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure of what MMOs are coming out soon or this year.
mhm,
I can probably look at my list, but that
yeah,
really piqued my.
yeah, because like, well, we're not seeing any more of Ashes of Creation. There's that.
Uh, oh, I guess the only real thing is the one that I am aware of is what was it? I think Arcade is getting a classic reboot,
Oh
and
shit!
then Ion 2.
I don't think I've heard of that before, but yeah,
I've played the original Ion, and the only reason I follow it Ion 2 is because a lot of it's most likely not most likely it's the next big game, but it's made by one of the bad ends in the gaming creators, like
right.
NCSoft. What was
Right.
it? What was the big
Oh,
three?
Nexon,
Yeah,
Nexon,
Nexon,
NCF.
NCSoft, and there's another one. Like if any MMO goes there, it's just practically.
Yeah. Uh, it'd be like that. But I mean, this is all that I really hope forward to. Like I think right now our definitions of MMO has effectively changed over the years too. But I think realistically there is a space right now where people really do want a MMO that's similar to World, and I don't blame them either. But I think right now with the way how people are currently going at it, I just think it has to be different. It has to be something that it can't just be another world, right?
Yeah, I think it goes back to at what point do you not consider the game to be classic anymore, right?
Right. Uh,
Because I can tell you for Ragnarok, um, where classic ends is where transcendent job ends. Um, once
oh,
you hit third job, that's not classic anymore. That's renewal.
oh yeah, that's true. Oh man, I I'm anticipating for Ragnarok Online 3. I don't think it's gonna be as good as how I remember it being, but it'd be cool to see if they like streamlined or gave us some quality of life stuff. Or maybe it's just a whole new game entirely too. I'm also okay with that. I'm also okay with that as well.
Anything to shake up the market, honestly.
Yeah, because MMO space has practically been stagnant. Because we were also anticipating the Riot MMO because that actually had some nice potential too, based on what
Yeah,
kind of
till they
stuff
went
that they have.
radio silent. Yeah.
Yeah. So until then, right? I mean, you have other stuff too. Like you have like your space MMO stuff too. That's perfectly fine. But it's like like when I mentioned with fighting games, not everyone is gonna like a tag team based fighting game, or not everyone is gonna like a street fighting style fighting game, or no one's gonna
Yeah,
like Mortal Kombat. There's just an MMO for everybody, but it's hard to find one where it brings everybody. And I
yeah.
think that's
Because
like something that I don't think is what you should be aiming.
I mean, playing for the mass is not the best way because you're always gonna get something conflicting. Good point
Yeah,
on um the whole introduction to not introduction, but whole talking about like Street Fighter and all that stuff. There's different genres for games, right? Same
yeah,
thing for MMOs. You could probably lump like Black Desert and Throne and Liberty together, right?
yeah,
They're kind of the same game,
yeah,
um, as an example. But it's hard. Oh, it feels like we haven't been eating well. I think we had a good few months when Lost Ark came out, honestly. I think
yeah.
a lot of people jumped in on that.
Just because it
But
was like anticipated. I think like
it was anticipated and also it was Amazon's first game
major
not
title
produced
release.
in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they had New World, but that was made in-house.
Oh, okay.
And also rest in peace, fucking New World.
Yeah.
Um, funny how you say that because I think someone's trying to buy the IP and
Oh shit.
release it on their end by themselves, but not too sure
Fingers
what's happening with
crossed.
that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Well, if anything right now, I think I could conclude this part too. There's enough footage as well. It might not be as long as my longer episodes, but I kind of anticipate it too because this is such like a niche topic to talk about
It's
anyways.
niche, yeah. I feel like within the friend group, I put the most time into an MMO,
Yeah. And
disgustingly.
look, we all have our unhealthy habits of games that we put too much hours into.
Yeah, let's okay. I not to flex, but honestly, Brian, let's go look at the let's go look at my Lost Ark.
Oh god.
So the time in let's pull up Final Fantasy first because I'm actually interested. So Final Fantasy 14, I have 6.4k hours, and this is
Hmm.
between 2016 to about 2023, right?
Right.
Played all the expansions day one, pretty much hit end game, uh, the whole shebang. But just wasn't. I didn't have a static. I just pretty much, like I said, I played with my partner.
Right.
Now, Lost Ark. Uh, when did Lost Ark came out? Lost Ark came out 2022, right?
Somewhere around there too. I feel like it was earlier in my opinion, but I'll say yes, around there.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah, I have 14,400 hours,
Oh my god.
and the game just turned 3 years old for the
Jesus.
West.
Jesus. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm looking at my
I'll
stuff
just leave
too.
it at that. I'll just
Yeah.
leave it at
All
that.
right. Oh god. Okay. If you were to make a guess too, based on the games that I played, Mikey, what do you think is the most in terms of like MMO content? Do you think I played the most in? I'll even throw in
I
like
don't
some of the
know.
gotcha. I'll even throw like
Oh,
some gotcha games in there too.
gotcha. I would say, I don't know. I see you playing Woo a lot, or hear you playing Woo a lot.
Hmm.
Um,
Unfortunately, it's not that.
really?
It's
What
number
is it?
six. It's a
No
game
shot.
called, it's a game called Prosperous Universe. I put 1,538 hours into.
Cross
It's a
Rivers.
fucking spreadsheet simulator.
Jeez. I
And I'm the one that fucking criticizes people playing Eve Online doing that shit. Yet here I am playing a fucking spreadsheet simulator. God
yeah,
damn
I do see it.
it. God.
It's well, it's still early, right? Because I see that they have a full
No.
roadmap.
Yeah, the game was a while back too. God damn it, I hate myself for playing that. But yes, I'm the one that criticized it, and yet here I am.
I mean, you play what you like, right?
Right. So we'll leave it off at that too. But thank you again, Mikey, for coming on too. I'll
Yes,
definitely
sir.
try to see if I can bring more people so we can talk about more funner things.
Yeah, hopefully Akash soon, because I know Akash is a pretty big MMO guy as well.
Yeah. It's just that I think right now there's just straight up not a lot of new MMOs to talk about right now too, especially yeah. Oh, man.
It's bad. It's just sad and bad.
Yeah. Well, until again, peeps do, stay tuned for another episode. Laters.
Bye.